Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Emma, or Emily, who's to say, and today I'm going to be doing another book haul. So here's the thing, I started reading a lot more books recently, and I don't know if that's due to quarantine or just in general, because currently my day-to-day life hasn't changed that much, so it's not like I have a bunch of extra free time at the moment. So I don't know what's happened, but I'm not mad at it. I was like, I'm gonna need more books, you know? Except I still have a lot of books that I haven't read, and then I decided to buy more. Luckily, I'm getting through them. I have a plan, and so hopefully there will actually be a time where I'm kind of low on books to read. Yeah, I don't know exactly how many books I have here. I think it's over 10, but some of them are parts of series or whole series. Let's just get started because I don't really know how to preface this. The first series that I'm going to talk about is the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I've never read these, and I'm in the midst of making a video about reading them. This is going to come out before that does, but look out for it if you want to see my thoughts. I actually just finished this book like 20 minutes ago, and I mean, I'm really enjoying it actually. I thought that I wasn't gonna like them very much because it seemed like some people were like, it's not as good as Six of Crows. But also Six of Crows is like top tier, so even though these might not be as good, they're still pretty high up there. Or at least the first one is, I think. But yeah, I'm enjoying them so far. They're really shiny. We'll see what happens. Yes, we will. The next one is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. Okay. Books with Leo or the book Leo. I get them confused all the time, but it's Leonie, not Leora. She really likes this book. I'll link her channel down below because I really freaking like her. But she seems to really like this book and has approved it, so that made me immediately interested in it, and I decided to pick it up because I've been getting more into fantasy. I was really in a contemporary mood for a while, and slowly I've been starting to read a bunch more fantasy, which has been really fun. From what I remember about the synopsis of this one, I think there's this guy and he takes a girl every like 10 years for something purposes, and the next choosing is like coming up, and there's like this super pretty girl, and the main character thinks that she's going to be chosen, but then the main character ends up being chosen. He's known as the dragon, which is interesting. It's not something I know a ton about, but I am not bothered by that. I like not knowing a ton about books. The next one is a part of a series, and that is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. I fucked that up. And I was actually really surprised because, I mean, I saw it was coming from the UK, but it didn't like make sense to me at first. But this came in the UK edition, which is like interesting. It has a blue thing right here. The other one doesn't. I would show you, but it's over there. I absolutely loved the first book. I thought it was great, and I just really want to know what happens, and this one has Jem on the cover, which it just makes my heart happy. The next one is A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I have an interesting relationship with classics. I have read some for school and I liked some of those, and then I also really did not like some of those. And I just recently tried to reread one of the ones that I actually liked, and I couldn't handle it. But there are a lot of sort of classic books that I've gotten recently, and so I've just been wanting to dive into them a bit more, just ones where it's like, you gotta read this, you know? And I think The Picture of Dorian Gray is one of those books. From what I know, this is about a dude, and he's vain, narcissistic, there we go. And he's like really freaked out about growing old, and then there's this painting which, instead of him growing old and getting all of like the oldness, the painting does, and the painting ends up looking more corrupt and just bad. I don't think corrupt's the right word. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but I do. So this is also an extremely short book, while the print is small, but very short nonetheless. And yeah, this is one that I want to read soon. There are a couple, what are they called? Readathons coming up. There's one in June or one that I'm currently like aware of, and there might be some others, and then I am trying to make one for July. I have basically everything set out. I just don't know how to go about like making it a thing. Like, I don't know what sort of preparation needs to be done, but I have ideas, and so I'm gonna try to make a readathon for July. If it ends up working out, there'll be a video up in June, so cool. The next book was a bit of a surprise, but it makes sense. I got The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and that is a poem, you're right. But for some reason, I was expecting it to be like a straight up book, and then I was thinking about it, I was like, it's one single poem. How is it like a whole book? And then I realized, because it came in picture book format, which I'm not mad at. The illustrations are really cute. Let me find, like, it's very Yellowwood, you know? I really like it. I think it's cute. It's very simplistic, but it's fun. And it is accurate to the actual poem. I've already read this one because it was a really quick read. The next one I am currently reading, and that is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I have heard a lot about this book on BookTube, and I know that it's sort of like dark, and it follows Shakespeare theater students, or just theater students, but they do Shakespeare plays. And I think there's also murder. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm really liking it so far. Kind of scared because I feel like I know who's gonna be murdered, and I don't want them to die. So we'll see. Okay, so up next kind of follows the theme of The Road Not Taken, and I have the complete poems of Walt Whitman and the works of Alfred Lord Tennyson, and I got these mostly because I watched Dead Poets Society and poems, you know, and they reference these authors a lot. They also talk about Henry David Thoreau, and he has a bunch of poems in here, and so it's, or not poems, they're just like small stories. I don't know how to go about reading them exactly, because I've read small poetry books, but I've never read ones that were so like extensive, because this one, he's floppy for one thing, but the writing is minuscule, and there's a lot of freaking poems. These books I basically got because of Dead Poets Society, and because I do really like poetry. I used to hate it, and then I started studying it, and I was like, hey, this actually isn't horrible, and so I want to start reading more of it, and I figured that these were good places to start. The next one is also mentioned in Dead Poets Society, but I also got it just because, you know, and that is Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. This is the Folgers edition, which I've heard like some good things about, just how it's set up. I got it used, and there's like some writing in here, which is funny because it kind of looks like my older sister's writing, but like messier. The next book I'm really excited for, and that is Lovely War by, oh my god, I forgot her name, Julie Berry. And this has been flowing around a lot lately. I believe it came out a year ago or something. I've been hearing a lot more about it lately, and after finishing the Percy Jackson series recently, I've been loving Greek mythology. I always love Greek mythology, but since it's told from the point of view of Aphrodite and some other Greek gods, throughout the story, I'm psyched. This follows two couples during World War II. Yes, World War II. I think one of them is supposed to like mirror Ares and Aphrodite's relationship. Why was that so difficult to say? But I don't entirely know. All I know is that it looks interesting. The next one I got, I don't entirely know why I got it. It's Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, and yeah, I don't remember exactly why I decided to get this, but I did. And I think part of it had to do with, there's a new book, don't remember who it's by, but it's called Anna K, and it's basically a modern retelling of this story. And I think the main character is Korean in that story instead of Russian? 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 I don't know exactly what possessed me to buy this, but I've read the first chapter, and I actually thought it was really interesting. This is definitely one of those books where I am not going to like try and read it in a week or something. It's one of those ones where I'll be taking it slow, reading it like chapter by chapter, when I can actually like analyze it, I guess, so that I'm not just skimming the surface and getting surface level information from it. You know what I mean? The next book is I Stopped Somewhere by T.E. Carter. I haven't heard a lot about this book. I've only heard about it from, can't remember their channel name. I'll like leave a picture here maybe and I'll link it down below. But she recently read this and she said that she hasn't heard a lot of people talking about it, but she thought it was a really good story. And from what I remember, this is a story revolving around rape, and I think it's like revolving around the trial. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's going to be really interesting. I like reading harder hitting books, I guess. Like, I'm all for a fun and happy contemporary, but sometimes I just like the sadder things, I guess, or the more intense things. But it reminds me of what's the Netflix series that came out recently? I'll put another picture here. I do think that if that is something you're not comfortable reading, you should probably stay away from this book. The next book is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I actually like love the mass paperback. Like, it's really long and really tiny. I don't know why I love the format of this book so much. I've heard a little bit about this, obviously because of some talk here on BookTube and because of the HBO show, and Kat from Paperback Dreams really likes this book from what I remember. It looks like it'll be relatively easy to get through just because the font is so big, even though there are a fair amount of pages. The next one is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I just recently read Radio Silence and I freaking loved it. And so I'm really excited to read another thing by her, especially because this has been getting so much hype and I want to know if it's well deserving. I hope so. But I love the back. It says, boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. And it's just cute. And I like the shoes, you know. I think it'll be a fun read. I haven't gotten the next 2 volumes because obviously I want to make sure I like this one first. But I feel like I'm gonna like it. And then I'm not gonna have the next 2 volumes and I'm gonna be like, But we'll see. Yeah, I am excited for this one. The next ones, may not be a surprise to you, but it's a surprise to me because I never, ever thought I would read the series. I don't know why I was so against reading it. I think it was just because I've seen the movies and I was like, I don't need to read the books. So I got the Twilight Saga, and they included The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. And I have actually read this one before. I completely forgot that I had. And I do remember liking it. I think I read it in like one night. From what I remember, I liked it. And so I don't know why I was like, I'm not reading the Twilight series. Yeah, I don't know. But from what I remember, I liked it. I didn't think it was like amazing, but I was interested in it, especially because I was really sad to see her go in the movies. As you probably know, Midnight Sun is coming out in August, and I decided, you know what, even if I don't end up wanting to read Midnight Sun, I'm gonna read Twilight, because why not? I honestly love the movies. I think they're great. I think they're entertaining. I think they can be hilarious, you know, like just all of the angst and like just Jacob alone is like, dude. I mean, we love him, but dude. Who all is hosting it? It's Kat from Paperback Dreams, Chandler Ainsley, I think that's just her channel name. I don't know if she has a specific channel name. And I think a couple other people, but those are the only 2 that I think I really follow, are hosting a Twilight readathon, read-along sort of thing. And they're reading one of the Twilight books every 3 weeks. And the first book, Twilight, the live show is on the 24th, and so I'm planning on reading it then. I'm also planning on doing another sort of vlog thing of me reading this for the first time, similar to the Grisha trilogy, but I'll be doing it 1 per book. My mom and my sister have both read the series, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she said the writing isn't great, but it gets better in the later books, and I think as long as the story is good, I'm okay. Like, as long as I like the characters or I like where the story's going, the writing doesn't matter quite as much to me unless it's like appalling. I'm not like stressed about reading this really. I just think it's weird because I'm like actually reading it. and I never thought I was gonna get there. Hi. So it's later the same day, and I read Heartstopper. I read it, and I fucking loved it. And so I figured I would tell you that I just ordered the next 2 volumes. Also, I'm not sure if I said this before, but when I ordered Clockwork Prince, I also ordered Clockwork Princess, but that hasn't come in the mail yet today, but I still want to include it in the haul because, you know, I'm still buying them before this goes up. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Yeah, so that is it for my book haul. Am I daunted? Yes. But am I slowly getting that under control by continuing to read the books that I've purchased? Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm planning on making videos about a lot of the books that I'm reading here, so I hope that that's interesting to you and that you will like them. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books and what your thoughts were, if you want to like tell me, I guess. Non-spoilery, of course, you know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe, be happy, enjoy things. I'll see you later. Bye.